right. On the Eagles front, do you want to talk more about their defense to get it dialed up, or the offense?
Let's start with the defense for sure. Right. That's where they begin as a team, because their offense doesn't have an identity right now.
Yes. No, I agree with you on that. So Vic Fangio's group, they're looking more and more like the 2024 group, and that was the number one defense in the league. And I want to talk about the money downs. The money downs, third down, used to be third down. Now it is expanded out to third and fourth down. We already told you that the Lions, 3 of 13, I believe it was, on third down. But check this out. Detroit loves to go for it on fourth down, right? Mm-hmm. 0 for 5 on fourth down against the Eagles. It really has been looking more and more like the Eagles, when you get to the money downs defensively, that's when they really dial it up. Because I know for the entirety of the season, I believe they do still have some like mediocre kind of defensive stats. But if you look at the way this has been trending, if you look at the way the defenses have been going with the addition of Jalen Phillips, you have seen a difference, man. And like, we'll get to this on the offense as well. It feels like with the Eagles, when it matters the most, that is when they play their best.
Yeah, Cooper Jean is the second-ranked cornerback in the league, too.
Probably should be behind Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah. Well, guess what? Guess where Quinyon Mitchell is?
4?
10.
Okay, that feels.
So they have 2 of the top
low.
10 corners in the league. The only team that has 2 in the top 10, other than them, is Denver. Denver's the best, right? Like Denver is, you look at that and you just go Patrick Surtain, but that's what you have with the Eagles secondary right now. I often wonder, because the first thing you usually see is, who's that secondary coach? He needs to be a head coach now.
Right.
But how much of this is Vic Fangio's, the way the defense is built and the way that he coaches? Because Bill Belichick was very good at having good secondary players, right? But then you say, oh, when those players leave, they're not quite the same player anymore.
Sure.
Why is that? Well, it's the coaching. It's the attention to detail.
And you always think that's the best compliment of a coach, right? Like an unsaid compliment is you see all these players that you did it with, and then they're like, oh, they're not. Okay, shut up. Mm-hmm. All right.
Nobody saw my face.
Yeah, okay. But see, but that's the thing. I have human reactions too. And my human reaction was to you immediately looking at Alec for that.
The other thing is the Cowboys have now picked up on this. The defense for the Philadelphia Eagles starts in the middle.
Yeah.
Like that's where this thing begins. And Kevin, that makes it difficult on third down because of what they do on first and second down, and then they also have pressure up the middle on third down. That's why they're as good as they are at what they do, because of the front. They have good linebackers, and then they have elite secondary players that are also assisted by what's up front. We've asked many players over time which one's more important. I think we're finding out how important it is up the middle and in that on that defensive line, what those guys can do to help the others.
Now, offensively, because I believe it or not, I think their offense is way, way more interesting because I think it's clear, and you just walk through it. Their defense is really good.
Yeah.
Now
they have talent.
Yeah, their offense is more complicated. I will present
it has the potential to be really good.
Yes, I will present you with the same player in shockingly different statistics. Jalen Hurts, their quarterback, you might have heard of him. He has been held under 200 yards 6 times this season. That's not good. But his passing touchdowns versus interceptions is 16-1.
I want to know the percentages. I'd love to find this number. How often they were in third and short situations last year and were able to pick up 10 yards as opposed to saying, we're going to push twice and pick this up. I think Kellen Moore can be a big difference here with the way the offense looks. I'm just going big picture first. Then we can narrow it down. But I think that Kellen Moore, we saw Kellen Moore here.
Sure.
He can design some really good, big, explosive plays for a team. And I think that is missing from this group.
How much of that do you think is a function of struggling Saquon Barkley?
Offensive line is that whole
sure.
group. Absolutely. And there are times when I see them hand the ball off to Saquon where I go, I would absolutely dump that off. That would have been something out in the flats to him. Or Jalen Hurts doesn't even look in the flat to see him open on other plays that they can pick up the yards they need. So the way this offense functions, Kevin, I don't think it's functioning as easy as whenever Kellen Moore had that thing going.
And this is just a shocking discrepancy to me. This year, they have 115 rushing yards per game. That's like middle of the pack. Last year was 179, which was second.
They used him a lot.
And he was spectacular last year.
Yeah, he got the opportunities, and I do wonder. You say that he's not doing well. I wonder how much that has to do with maybe he was used too much last year, and he just doesn't have the same.
I cannot rule that out.
Versus. Maybe this offensive line just doesn't have it. Can I throw something out real quick? Lane Johnson out.
Yep.
Back up Fred Johnson. So I just think it's amazing they have two Johnsons. One is the starter, and then the other Johnson just like, I got you. Don't worry about it. I'll fill in.
Yeah, Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what people do.
So no more tears.
I like it. I wonder how many people in our audience understand that. Yeah, Lane Johnson, still waiting for specifics because I know they were going to get a second opinion. But the thought is that it won't necessarily, the Linsfranc sprain won't necessarily be season ending, but maybe go on IR, could be out 4 to 6 weeks. All right, let's talk about the very movable force versus the very resistible object.
All right.
The just terrible parts about both of these teams going head to head. The Cowboys are god-awful on third down defense. We've discussed this. Just terrible.
Says who?
Says the numbers.
How were they on against the Raiders?
They made their first stop all season on 3rd and 1. So they're trending
in your
upward.
Face, Kevin.
They are now.
You said they could never do it.
They've now only given up 18 of 19 3rd and 1s.
Hey, that's a start.
But here's good news. The Eagles, they're almost as bad on third down offense. Their conversion rate, 34%. That's 4th worst in the league. So you have...
Because they know they can get it on fourth... what's their 4th down conversion rate?
I'm going to have to check on that.
Give me a minute.
But you think about it, you have the worst third down defense going against the 4th worst third down offense. So it does very much feel like that is going to be what swings this game. Now, I know you can say that about plenty of NFL games, but it feels like in particular this one, since neither team is very good at it.
Okay, I think just very specifically, they are that because they will go for the tush push on 3rd down and 2 and say, that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll do 4th and 1 next. And their conversion rate on 4th and 1 or 4th down, their 4th down conversion rate is 64%. So I think that has a factor in it. But I agree with you, Kevin. The Cowboys got to figure a way out to not let that happen. Don't even get them in positions to have a 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 1 situation because they're going to tush push, and you don't know how to stop it. Nobody does. So I think that's a factor. I need to go look at attempts, though, because I think that's a big factor there, too.
Yeah.
I found it.
I was going to say last year, 4th down conversion rate was 57%. So they're better than average, but like not off the charts better. They're 8th in terms of 4th down conversion, it looks like.
Oh, they only have 17 4th down attempts.
You would have thought it would have been a lot more.
Heck yeah, I would have.
So see,
Carolina has 27.
That is weird. Maybe Carolina's been in games where like, who cares? But they have a better record than the Cowboys.
And they have a 66% advantage there. So, wow.
Huh?
But they also stink on 3rd down. So,
and then the other thing to throw out there is we talked about how Philly's good on the money defensive downs. They are good when it counts in the red zone. They have the best touchdown conversion rate in the red zone in the NFL, and in terms of their offense, league low 4 turnovers.
Wow.
So, like, that's why I think they're so interesting. Their quarterback doesn't throw for a lot of yards, but he doesn't turn the ball over. They struggle terribly converting 3rd downs, but then when they get into the red zone, they're touchdown machines. It is a fascinating dynamic.